Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the German tier 10 Tank Destroyer, the Sturmtiger. Now the Sturmtiger is a brilliant meme. It's not the most competitive tank at tier 10, like, at all. But it is a meme and it's a hell of a lot of fun to play. It just pulls off just stupidity, to be perfectly honest. That's just what the Sturmtiger pulls off. And it's a hell of a lot of fun to just run around and absolutely dirt people. It's one of those tanks, you get it just for the memes. Like, the grind in the line itself is pretty horrible. There's some pretty terrible tanks, including one of the worst tanks in the game at tier 9 in the bar. It's bloody awful. I wouldn't ever recommend playing that tank. But once you get to the tier 10, this is the tank you get, and it is just a meme lord. So what do I run in terms of a crew on the Sturmtiger? Well, in the Sturmtiger I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Trap Mechanics, Steady Aim, Clutch Braking, Run and Gun, Situational Awareness, and Camouflage. Now, you could switch out the Run and Gun and put Smooth Ride on it to make the mobility better. That's quite an easy fix you could do. But as you've already seen in this replay, I do like to take absolutely memey shots and fire on the move. So if I can get 10% more accurate on the move, I'm going to do it. It's just going to happen. It's just a meme. But really, realistically, Run and Gun probably isn't the best one to put on this crew. And you're probably better to put something like Smooth Ride on to just make the mobility a bit better across the different terrains. In terms of equipment, and you're going to see it a lot, because these tanks are a lot about their ammo management, is I run Rammer, the reload auto, no, I can't remember what the equipment is called. The ammo swapper, anyway. The ammo swapper. The one that lets you change which shell you're using without punishment. So I can just switch to using the heat rounds, or I can switch to using the HE rounds, whichever ones I want. And then that lets me just black people and get two damage on two separate tanks with one shell, because that's what the Sturmtiger does, like we just did there. But that lets me change, because like there, where you saw when I came over on that chieftain, I probably would have been better with heat, because I could just go straight through his lower plate and pen him. But he pulled back behind the Valor, and it's like, well, if I fire the HE, I'm going to do damage to both. And you've seen it here. We have HE loaded. We switch to the heat, because the heat can go through his lower plate. Blap him for 1300. That's why having the ammo swapper equipment is great. And that's why I have it. And I run optics as well to make it so that I'm not just completely blind. So I have at least some sort of view range. Now, yeah, the Sturmtiger is a hell of a lot of fun. And as you've seen in this game so far on Sunset Coast, we're having quite a lot of fun. We're up to 4k damage, 156 assistance. And we're just doing our best to absolutely blap everyone. We're just hiding from this IS-7 at the minute, just to make sure that he doesn't come and blap us, because that's not what we want. But now we're nearly loaded. I'm going to pull around this corner so that it gives me a chance to get a shot at this guy. Now, obviously, because it is a big derp gun, this guy doesn't need to give me much to be able to do damage to him. So, as you see there, he gives me a little bit of his track. And I'm like, well, I'll take the opportunity. But as I fire, because the shell velocity is so slow, he pulls back behind the rock and the shell misses by about 10 miles, which is really unfortunate. It is what it is. But, like I say, you know, you don't have to get much of a tank to do an absolute ton of damage in this thing. So now we're reloaded again. He is side scraping my heavy tank on the left. And it's like, well, yeah, thank you, sir. Do 690 damage straight to his side, and that's what the Sturmtiger does. It's dumb, but it's a lot of fun. It's the best way of describing it. So I'm reloading at the minute, and I'm thinking, right, I want to progress. I want to get down this line, but there's an E4 at the end of this line, and E4's hurt. So I'm just going to aim up and see if I can pop a shot at him. Unfortunately, he pulls back. I'm in the perfect spot, really, to get him, because I'm safe. If he spots me, I can pull back behind this ridge quite easily. He's not going to damage me here. But he doesn't seem willing to pull round this corner and be in front of 3 heavy tanks and a Sturmtiger. Now, I end up popping a blind shot, Because I'm kind of thinking, is he there? Did he pull out and he's just unspotted? No, he didn't. And then I decided to go while I'm reloading. Fortunately enough for me, he pops around and doesn't shoot me. He shoots my friend. Then we get tagged by a gorilla that's base camping. And it's like, sir, hello. What have you been doing this whole time? But like I say, fortunately enough, he doesn't hit me. I'm aiming up at the gorilla and I'm thinking, well, I'm safe from the E4, right? No, we're not safe from the E4. I thought the E4 might, if he pulls around the corner, get absolutely blacked by my heavy tanks. I thought he might be scared of pulling around the corner to shoot me because of my heavy tanks. But unfortunately, he just pulls around anyway. Gets slapped by the E100, doesn't care. Takes most of my hit points. And now I'm a one-shot for this YOLO in T54 lightweight. But he makes a mistake in not focusing me. He ends up focusing my heavy tank. And it's like, well, you should have focused him, my friend. Slam a shot, don't even pen him. Hit him in the tracks for 786 and then set him on fire and finish him off. We're up to 5.6k damage, 828 assistance. And we're just looking for the shot now, possibly at this gorilla who's up there. But then this E4 is full sending. Is like, is he going to drive out in front of me? Yes. Yes, he is. So we press A, load the heat round, slam the heat round into that E4 side, do nearly 1300 damage. And now there's only one tank left on the enemy team, and it is a gorilla. It's this gorilla up here, and I'm not going to chase him. I kind of have a shot at the back of his tank, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to reload in time to be able to finish that guy off. And we're finished with 6.9k damage. The victory. Come top of the team. You get 2 kills, 1,550 blocks, which is decent because this tank can block on a ridgeline. It's decent angles. The ace tanker, the high caliber, 1,644 base XP. Yeah, this tank's armor isn't reliable. Like, I would never rely on this tank for its armor. But if you're on a ridgeline and you've got it angled well, and people do shoot the upper section of the tank, they will bounce. Because it is well angled, especially if you use a ridgeline to accentuate those angles as well. Although beware, people can just shoot straight through your gun, and if you're shooting at one of these things, you can literally just shoot straight through the gun. It seems to be like an armor hole. I've done it many times. But if you're out in the open, the lower plate is awful, and the lower plate does... Or it is the lower plate of a Tiger 1, so it's the lower plate of a tier 7 heavy tank at tier 10. You can't expect it to be good. So, this is where I'm saying you're probably best to take smooth ride instead of run and gun. Because over this terrain, we've lost a fair bit of speed that we might be able to keep with smooth ride because of the different terrain resistances and the fact that smooth ride helps you on different terrains. It'll help you get to the fight quicker. But like I say, run and gun because, you know, I can just pull up while I'm moving, blap. I'm technically 10% more accurate there because I was still moving when I fired, when I pulled up. And that's why I like it, because I can just get those Mimi shots. Now, we got a nice shot into the E4. We ended up damaging the E5, and ended up damaging the guy behind him as well. He pens us, the artillery slaps us. We've lost nearly 1,000 health in that short space of time, but I'm being brave here. And I'm like, okay, Mr. IS4, hello, I don't need to pen you. But I'll load the heat, because maybe I'll be able to slam the heat into your side. That was a misplay. Giant misplay. I should not have loaded heat there. Bad idea. I was never going to pen the IS4. I should have just loaded HE straight away, blacked him in the side, and I'd have probably done 600 damage anyway. Should have done that. But now we're reloading. We've got the machine in front of us that charged him. And now he's reloading. We're going to go forward and give them the big derp surprise of the Sturmtiger. Now, I'm being a little bit too aggressive here. I should have pulled back and waited for them to drive around the corner, but we do get a shot into the IS4 side. Damage him for 300 odd, and then damage the E5 next to him for 170 as well. Because that is the thing with these Prem HE rounds on the Sturmtiger, and it's the reason that you will take the Prem HE rounds and not the standard HE rounds, is the fact that the Prem HE rounds have nearly 30 meters of splash radius, whereas the standard only have like 9. And that is a massive, massive difference, because I can black people and then be able to shoot, and then if they've got like 1 or 2 people next to them, they can end up taking massive damage as well. And that is a thing that you need to take. Now, unfortunately there, we lost a bit more health to the 430U, who full sent into our whole team. Don't know why he did that. But he lost his whole tank, but he put us down to 500 health. The IS4 in front of us gets shut down by the machine. And now I'm looking at the layout, and I'm like, right, they've got some heavy tank. They've got heavy tanks already down there. They've got medium tank down there. Most of them are possibly coming up off the beach because they did send a fair few to the beach, or they're still sitting at G5 or in their TD spots. Now I slapped the HE round into the side of the 705A there for 750 odd. It's mental that something like this tank can do this. Like I didn't really aim it that well, but you know, with our perks, that it was pretty decently aimed. And we didn't even have to pen him. We just slapped a giant HE round into the side of a super heavy tank, and we did 750 damage. It's pretty memey. I do find it funny. Is it balanced to be able to do that? I say that this tank isn't competitive because it can't do this all the time, to be perfectly honest with you. There's a lot of games where you're not going to be able to do this. Oh, poor little tier 8. But, yeah. Is it that balanced when I don't even have to pen a super heavy but still do like 800 damage? I'll let you guys decide that one. So, we got rid of the cap pressure. We got rid of the atomic that was in the cap. That Vanguard is on our right. That is fairly annoying, but I'm going to ignore him because we've now got this AT-15. Now, this AT-15 has a blistering rate of fire, but I have heat rounds that are standard rounds on this tank for 280 pen, and my standard heat round with 280 pen is a beautiful thing for facing things like AT-15s or Tortoises because they've got the big cupola. I mean, I didn't even hit his cupola, that hit his superstructure, and we slapped him around for 1251, and now we've left him 199 health. We don't even need the heat round to finish that guy off. We just load the HE round, slap it in for the last 199 of his health. Now, unfortunately, that Vanguard managed to get some shots into the Tank Destroyer behind me, and he ran away. That guy's going to be an annoyance, but now there's 3 of us left. There's the heavy tank on their side of the ridge, there's me, and then there's this Jagdpanzer. The FV4005 in front of us over there is a threat, and I'm hoping he doesn't come for me. Fortunately enough, he gets spotted going the other way, and it's like, well, thank you, Mr. FV4005. Just get out of the game. I don't want to get tagged by you. We shut him down. There's a heavy tank, the Vanguard, and a Tank Destroyer left. And it's like, right, okay, now I'm unspotted. I'm going to pull forward on this ridgeline and see if I can spot anything across this area. Hoping that I might be able to get a free shot at someone, but I think, well, no, because I think that Tank Destroyer did get spotted in their base. So I think, hey, you know what, okay, I'm going to poke a bit lower. We're going to go on the low side and try and spot around this corner. See if we can get a shot at this SU-130PM, who does get spotted. We're looking for the shot. We pop it. Unfortunately, it goes nowhere near, but I mean, we weren't that well aimed, to be honest, and it was one of those hit and hope shots, you know. We'll try it, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Unfortunately, our VK101P gets shut down by the Vanguard. That's fairly bad for me and the Jagdpanzer, because we're both turretless TDs, and they've got an annoying pest of a light tank, and plus they've got a heavy tank still somewhere that we don't know how healthy he is. And in fact, it's a Conqueror with 1,400 hit points. This is going to be a fairly difficult one. So, we spot him up. I load heat because I know if I blap this guy with heat, I would take most of his hit points. But I decide when he gets hauled down and he actually pens me, that blapping him for 700 and odd will probably be the better option. Fortunately, the Jagdpanzer shuts down the Vanguard, which saves us because we were definitely dead to that Vanguard. We get a fortunate again that the Conqueror bounces, but we were far enough behind the ridgeline there. He only had our extremely angled front to hit. He couldn't quite hit our side, which is why he bounced, because he hit my extremely angled front end. So I was thinking of going over this ridgeline to get that shot into the Conqueror's turret, because I know that if I hit this Conqueror again in the turret or anywhere, like even if I was to hit him straight into his gun mantlet, I'll probably kill him with the HE round because of the splash. But I can't pull over this ridgeline because there's an SU-130PM in their base, and I know if I pull up on that ridgeline, he's probably going to shut me down, which is not what we want. So we decide, you know what, we're going to change the angle, we're going to go after the Conqueror this way. And by doing this, we're going to be able to get a good shot at him and not have to overexpose ourselves on the ridgeline with our poor 4 degrees of gun depression. Now, unfortunately, I take the wrong way of going for this Conqueror here. because the gun depression lets us down. But fortunately enough, he drives straight into the crosshairs and we shut him down with the big HE round. Now it's just the SU-130 PM left on their team. The Jagdpanzer have managed to whittle it down. And the SU-130 PM here has clearly gone, nope, not dealing with the Jagdpanzer that's staring at me. I'm going to run this way. And I'm thinking, I've been spotted. Is he really going to run straight head first into the Sturmtiger? Yes! Yes, he is. Hello, Mr. SU. Goodbye, Mr. SU. And we've had another great game in the Sturmtiger, which is just an absolute meme and a joy of a tank to play just for the memes. You don't take it seriously, just go for meme shots. We finished that game with 6 kills, 7k damage, 561 assisted, a little bit of blocked. Ace tanker, top gun, high caliber. 1833 base XP. The Sturmtiger, is it worth the grind? If you like meme tanks, yes. But the grind is absolutely disgusting, so yeah, if you don't want to deal with the pain of the Sturmtiger being the bar, yeah, just, I wouldn't bother. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!